Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to On the Fringe. This is Dave. I'm here with
And I'm
Gavin.
Gavin.
He is Gavin, everybody, and I am Dave. I am not Gavin, and he is not Dave.
I am the
And
Eggman, and you are the walrus.
am I Paul?
Coo, coo, choo.
Anyway, so we are back, and we're going to be kicking off another episode about how AI is being used more and more in everyday life. And Gavin sent me a very interesting video a couple days ago. And it looks like in some school districts in the US, AI is going to be replacing guidance counselors for students. So we're going to be talking about the integration of AI into schools, and we're going to be focusing our podcast today primarily about with guidance counselors, what this might entail for younger people. So, Gavin, tell me a little bit more about this video, like for the people that haven't seen it yet.
As you know, I'm an educator, and part of my duties is I have 30 minutes of homeroom every morning. And about once a week, I go to CNN has a nice feature called CNN 10, where it's 10 minutes of news for younger people. And I did that last week. And about five, 4 minutes in, there's a segment about the use, not just as guidance counselors, but actually as social and emotional counselors as well. But there is a program. I think there's more than one, but there's one that they were talking about in the video, Sunny, that is being used in schools that do not have I think it's 240-1 ratio of counselors that schools are supposed to have. And I think, by the way, 73% of schools in America don't meet that ratio. So,
Yeah, I know mine didn't. When I was back in high school, mine did not at all.
I mean, benefits of private school, I did not have that problem. But we're talking about public schools and we're talking about public schools in America. Yeah, it was very interesting because they're basically talking about because they have a shortage of counselors and because counselors are relatively expensive in comparison to the cost of Sunny, they are now rolling in this program where every student would have a personal account which they could text. It's all being overseen by a person, but the responses are being generated by AI. And they were just sort of talking about the implications of that. And it was a good 3 to 4 minute segment, sparked a lot of conversation in the classroom. I would say the majority of my students were pretty against the idea, sort of on principle. Some of them thought that there were some advantages to it because, as it is a computer program, there's no social stigma. You don't have to worry about being judged. And also, it's something that is available 24/7. You can text this thing at 4 in the morning and it will respond. But the downsides are it's not going to have a window onto your viewed experience because it doesn't really know you. People were uncomfortable with the idea of data collection, and this is a proprietary software, so we don't really know what's going on or how that data is being used. It just, there was a very lively discussion after this, and it got me thinking. I sent it to you because this is kind of what we've been talking about, and certainly what we've been talking about with John and latterly Kevin. Um, AI is being thrown at everything in our lives, and including things that maybe it wasn't ever really designed to do. And John definitely has views on that where, this is a guy who's working with these things every day, and he's like, there are just some things you shouldn't be using it for, and using it for everything might not just be naive, it might be somewhat irresponsible. Though we weren't talking necessarily about counseling. I think it definitely struck a chord with me, and I know it struck a chord with you.
Yeah, definitely did. And I mean, if we go back to a couple of the other episodes, one of the key things with AI and LLMs and these chatbots is they want to please the user because these bots
Mhm.
primarily want to be rewarded.
Mhm.
So they're going to be giving positive feedback. And it is good. The job of a counselor is to help students move forward in their lives. But if a student is not doing well in his classes, sometimes you have to give some sort of constructive feedback as well and not just give positive feedback repeatedly. You do want to find those small gems to give them motivation, but you don't want to just pour on the positive feedback like a lot of these chatbots do. And I see this as being potentially dangerous
Yeah.
for one if
Mm.
it's not well regulated. And like Gavin was saying, we're throwing AI at everything. It doesn't matter what problem that we have, we're trying to use AI as a solution to every single problem that we have. And for some problems, I think it's a really good tool. For other problems, it's not. And I think for schools and for counseling, this is maybe not the best tool. It's a good tool, it's a good resource, but I don't think it should be the actual tool that these schools are throwing out and just giving these to the students. By doing it, they're actually, I think, limiting the students' futures. And I think they're causing the students to be more and more dependent on AI bots.
Yeah. I mean, for me, again, as an educator, it's particularly disturbing when you are basically using it to replace mental health counseling in schools, which is pretty much what the system we're talking about is designed for, because these are people at their most vulnerable, and you are essentially foisting them onto this program, largely for cost efficiency reasons. It's costing school districts $5 per student, which I don't have to do the math, costs a lot less than a counselor, even if you pay them very badly. So you have people who have difficulty hiring, people who have difficulty keeping counselors, lack of counselors, as you just mentioned, in a lot of schools. They're bringing this technology in for cost efficiency reasons. But as you say, LLMs are not programmed to tell people things they don't want to hear. Their entire programming, their entire training, the training of an AI, by and large, is training them to predict what people want to hear. Mental, social, emotional counseling involves a lot of telling people things they don't necessarily want to hear. And I have a very bad feeling because you're using it essentially as a stopgap to deal with a section of the population in a school that is by definition is going to be vulnerable. And again, this is kind of unproven technology. We really don't know if you're texting back and forth with a program for weeks on end and you're training it to respond to you in a certain way after a while. Yes, there's safeguards. Yes, there are people monitoring the feeds, but how many people? How are these people trained? There're just a lot of unknowns, and it makes me very nervous. I'll be
Hmm.
honest.
Yeah, same. And I mean, you already have a lot of teens. We've talked about this in other podcasts. Teens are
Mm,
using AI and they're adapting to this very, very quickly. And you have, pull up the numbers real quick. You have about 33% of American teens already talk with AI bots about their problems. And one of the
mm,
reasons they do it is because it's always there. Like Gavin said, you can be talking to it at 3:34 in the morning or after school if people are starting to talk badly about you on social media. You can get on there and immediately start chatting with the bot and say, this is what's going on. Why are they doing this? What's the solution? And yes, I think that's good. You have a resource where you can talk to. You have something that you can interact with, and it can maybe help you to get your mind at ease a little bit. But it goes back to the dependence, where if these younger people are being dependent and they're using these bots already, and then they're further integrating these bots into their school lives, well, what are they going to use outside of these bots for advice? What's going to help them build relationships with other human beings? Why would they want to do something like that and take advice from a human when they can just take advice from a bot? And if the bot is giving them positive feedback all the time that, oh, you're always doing the right thing, you're awesome, you're excellent, then this bot is essentially setting this person up for failure when they do have an actual crisis because the bot is not going to be able to help them.
Well, and also just setting yourself up for failure in more than one way, because if you're interacting with something that is always going to build you up and is never going to say no and is never going to go, well, we can't do that, then when you actually interact with the real world, and educators worry about this enough, when you're dealing with the offline world and you cannot mentally or physically handle a crisis because you have always relied on an AI to either build you up or give you advice, it's a time bomb. This is just not good in so many ways. And, people complain about it slightly already with social media and just the sort of bubble effect and people living in their own little villages. Well, with AI, you can live in a bubble of one.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get out of that bubble, you may not be able to function if you're living most of your life in this world where all your ideas are good. Yes, I can write the email for you. Yes, I can do this for you. Yes, I can. And, again, even in the classroom, I'm seeing students who go, well, I can do that. But then you go, well, no, you're going to have to do it on paper. And you can just sort of see their eyes drop
Mm-hmm.
because most of them can't really write long essays because they do everything via ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever they're using. Most of them don't use Gemini. No one likes Gemini. But
Or Meta or Llama, whatever it's called.
or yeah, I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know what the hell they call that. I
It,
mean,
it it
I
it
would say
called me Gary one time. It was like, "Hi, Gary, how are you?" And I was like, "Where did you get Gary?" And it was like, "Oh, I thought Gary was your name." And I was like, "No,
that's a little scary.
it is a little scary."
It's a little scary. They track your IP down. They're like, we know there's a
We're
Gary. Hi,
looking for
Gary.
Gary.
Sorry, Gary. Um, okay, so yeah, so that's not great. That's pretty bad. And to be fair, things in the US school system are already not looking very good. You want to talk about that, Dave?
Yeah, so the national report card just came out this week. Average scores across the board are dropping in
Hmm.
all of the major subjects. So since 2019, math scores, English scores, and science scores have all dropped. But there is one very, very small glimmer of hope. Fourth grade and eighth grade math scores have gone up, but virtually everything else has dropped. It's looking really bad for the public school system in the US. And in some states, like in Texas, you have students actually leaving and they're going to charter schools. So this is
Yeah.
almost a perfect storm for schools in the United States. And in Texas, too, the Texas AFT, it's the main teachers union, is saying that, oh, we're going to lose $12 billion more from public schools.
Hmm.
And if you have less students, you have less funding. What are you going to do? We're going to bring in AI to come in and fill this stopgap. Then again, it might do some things that are positive, but if you're bringing in AI to pick up the load that you can't carry because you're losing teachers and you're losing students and you're losing funding, you're making
Hmm.
yourself dependent on this technology. And I know I keep hitting this nail over and over and over again, and it's probably already been pounded down, but the dependency on this is something I think that we are not really thinking through. We're looking for a quick solution to our problems, and we're going to make ourselves dependent on this. It's not going to be a rosy future if we do.
No. I mean, we're looking for a quick fix, and this isn't it. I think is just to boil that down. And that scenario you outlined, I mean, it's a vicious cycle, right? We're on the verge of the current administration talking about abolishing the Department of Education. So that would be even less funding. You're seeing the preponderance of charter schools, and I would imagine, though I'm sure some charter schools are probably going to embrace AI, but
Hmm.
I could see in some states a vicious cycle where, because of the funding cuts, you have human teachers migrating into charter schools and school districts kind of at their wits' end replacing them with AI. And just sort of a pretty nasty two-tier system where you have the charter schools, a little bit more money, a little bit nicer, more human teachers, and then public schools not doing so great, mostly AI programs. And again,
Hmm.
if they're already doing this with counselors, they're going to be doing it with teachers real soon.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think America is going to be at the leading edge of this. If it rolls out, it's going to be in America before anywhere else.
Yeah. And I mean, I can even see too in Texas and a couple of school districts that are failing. They're going
Mhm.
to say, okay, we're going to test this out in a couple of these public schools where we're going to cut a couple of teaching positions and we're going to have one teacher or as a monitor for these students, and they're going to be doing more administrative work rather than actual lesson planning and teaching. And the students are going to have a tailored AI teacher that's going to be taking them through lessons every day. And
Yeah.
I mean, this just what's going to happen to civics in schools? I mean, you already have problems. I'm sure people are laughing right now, but a lot of American students, there are problems. There are deep problems within the American school system in terms of students getting along and bullying and violence. What's this going to do to actually solve some of these problems? And I think it's going to just make these problems worse. It's going to turn up the heat on a lot of these problems that students already have to deal with. It's going to turn up the pressure on a lot of these kids because they're going to have less people to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah. And ultimately, I feel very strongly, and I'm not sure I felt this way when I started teaching, but I definitely feel this way now, where a lot of being in school, whether you're aware of it, and I think often teachers are not aware of it, to be blunt, but whether you're aware of it or not, you are showing people how to interact with each other. You're socializing them. That's a large part of what goes on at a school. If you don't have teachers in classrooms, or if they're babysitters, or everyone's just on their device all day and they're not talking to each other, again, it's what you just said. It is a perfect storm of just, again, you think you have problems now, wait 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Yeah.
and again, that's not to say that I think all applications of AI are dangerous or that I even think it shouldn't be used in education at all. I don't actually feel that way, but it goes back to what we were saying at the beginning, which is, and what John's been saying from the beginning, which is you don't have to throw it at everything. And there's some things you should really look at and go, well, okay, it doesn't quite work, but is the solution really automating it? And boy, I think this is one of those things where I don't think they will, but I think people really need to take a step back and go, okay, in the short term, this saves money, this optimizes our numbers. 5 years from now, am I going to like the society I'm living in?
Hmm. Yeah.
And people really need to ask that question.
Hmm. And then what are the prospects for these people ultimately?
Yeah.
What are the
Yeah.
prospects of these kids? They finish school, then what?
What are they doing? What can they do? I mean, again, I have a very grim feeling about all of this. What are they capable of doing? Looking at a screen and pressing a button. I
Hmm.
mean, beyond that, they really will not have been forced to do anything else. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, Gavin, I'm gonna grab my tinfoil hat real quick.
let's go.
It's a little bit farther away this time, but it's right here.
Gotta reach for it.
Got to reach for it this time. Oh, it's on my head. It's already there. So I would not be shocked if you have OpenAI, Meta, and Anthropic, and Alphabet, Google. These
Hmm.
companies are pushing to integrate AI into classrooms, and they're pushing to actually get rid of the Department of Education. Because if you get rid of, I mean, you brought this up earlier, you get rid of the Department of Education, you get rid of a lot of federal funding. A lot of these schools that are dependent on federal funding, what are they going to do? They're going to go for something that's going to cut costs, and it's going to provide some sort of a band-aid to a bleeding wound of the schools are failing in their districts. So they're going to be
Hmm.
integrating AI into their schools and probably through every single aspect of it. Guidance counselors to math classes to English classes, foreign language, you name it, AI is probably going to be there. And can look at it and go, okay, it might actually help some of these students. We've had dropping test scores over the last 10 years since 2015 when the ESSA, the Every Student Succeeds Act came out. Test scores have gone down nationally. This could do something potentially to help students improve their test scores. But then
Hmm.
again, if you're teaching the test, how does that help the students after they actually finish high school? It doesn't. So
It
then what are
doesn't.
we going to do as a society with these people? They're going to go to school for 4 hours in the morning, and then in the afternoon, they're going to do some sort of an internship? Or are they going to have a part-time job? Or are they going to learn how to set up a business? Or are they going to learn digital marketing or learn some sort of skill to make money? Because a lot of these students, quite frankly, if they're not doing well on their major subjects, they're probably not going to be going to college. And we've talked before about colleges are potentially going to start losing funding and colleges have started closing down. We did this in season two.
Hmm.
And this really is a perfect storm for younger people. I would say that are aged probably 8 up to, I don't know, 13, where these kids are going to get hit hard by this. And I look at them and I go, I feel terrible for you guys. You guys are almost going to be like a lost generation. We think we have it bad. Generation X, like, yeah, you guys have had it bad, but these kids could have it the worst out of anybody.
I mean, I even feel that way about people who are already in high school, to be honest, because I mean the effect is probably less, but that's sort of the COVID generation. And then the guys coming up who are too young to remember COVID or vaguely remember it. I mean, they're really going to be hit by this. But it goes back to the thing that I said, which is you have to take a step back. And there is so much momentum, and there's so much rushing, and there's so much money being poured at this thing. This is the next thing. This is the next industrial revolution. This is the next big thing. And no one is asking, okay, we throw everything into this basket. Where are we in 5 to 10 years? Where are those kids, those 8 to 13-year-olds? Where are they in 5 to 10 years? And if you look at everything that's going on right now, and I'm just talking about AI application. I'm not talking about anything else. If you just sit back and go, okay, where is this all headed? I really hope that some people, and I know some people are, but I really hope that some people are just going, okay, this is the next big thing, but we need to step back and think about what is our intention with this? What are we trying to do? Do we want to, if this is all about making money, if this is all about, it's going to make us all an incredible amount of money, okay, we'll make money, but where are we going to be? If we make all of that money, if we send AI into every classroom in America, where are we going to be in 5 to 10 years? And man, I hope someone's thinking about that right now.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. And it, like you're saying, we've got our foot on the gas. We're just going as fast as we can. And we're
Yeah.
not anticipating a turn or we're not anticipating anything in the road ahead.
Or a
And
skunk,
or a skunk.
or a
And
armadillo,
if or an armadillo, yeah. Or a
or a
banana peel.
moose.
Oh boy, that would be bad. But we really have to take a step back and go, okay, do we want our whole entire society, and I mean educators especially, if you're a teacher and you listen to this, take a step back and go, do we really want our society to be completely dependent on technology? And do we want them to have, I guess, a stronger relationship with their computer than they do with their classmates? Because that's the position that we're putting our students in.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Uh, so thank you, on the fringe listeners, our community. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, share with your friends, share with your enemies, share with educators. This is really an episode
Please.
for educators. Share it with your educator friends. Spark those conversations because people need to be having them. If you have policymaker friends, God forbid, please share this far and wide. As always, we appreciate our On the Fringe community, and we'll talk to you soon. I'm Gavin, this is Dave, and thank you for listening to On the Fringe.
Take care.